Hi guys, it's Amber and welcome back to my channel, Amber Eats Books. Today I thought I would do a book haul for you guys. I have been accruing books like nobody's business for the last 3 months and I need to finally get them put on my shelves. I'm tired of seeing them sitting in a reusable shopping bag next to my bookshelf. They just need to get put away. So I thought I would share them all with you now. So the first two things aren't books, but they are book related. I ended up picking up some more magnetic bookmarks. I love these, well, especially because these ones have slots on them. I absolutely love slots. I think they are adorable. But I love these magnetic ones so much lately. I can put my bookmark in and my book could get thrown around, tossed around in my bag, jostled about, and my bookmark does not fall out. I do not know how I've lived without these for so long. I'd gotten some, probably in the fall, I got foxes and raccoon ones, and I thought that they are just so good, I needed more. So I got these, and I love them, and I can't wait to finally open them and use them because I've been waiting to haul them for you guys. I also picked up some tabs. I haven't been great at tabbing my books, but I want to tab books that are my own personal books that I own. I've been reading a lot of library books lately, so I really haven't had a need to open these yet, but I plan on reading a lot of my own books over the summer and definitely want to be able to use these. I think they're adorable. They're little cupcakes and donuts. One of the bookstores we went to had all used books, and they were in multiple buildings. It was called the Book Barn in Niantic, Connecticut, which is far from me. It's not close to me at all, but it was amazing. I wish I could have spent more time there, but we were on such a time crunch to get to all of the stores that day that I couldn't spend as much time as I wanted exploring, but they have so many books. It was just amazing. Some books that caught my eye, though, was the set of Anne of Green Gables. I read Anne of Green Gables, I think last year, and I absolutely loved it, and I want to go back through and do a reread of it now that I have my own copy. And I ended up getting the other two books that are at the beginning of the series. I know there's still quite a few books in the series, and I will have to get them as I go to like book sales and stuff over the summer, but I thought this was a great start, and they were only $1 a piece. Another book that I saw that I had heard good things about was A Million Junes by Emily Henry. This looks like it was a book of the month book, but I ended up getting this at the same used bookstore that I got the Anne of Green Gables. I think I paid $3 or $4 for this one, which I still think is a really great deal. Then down the street there was like another building, like you had to actually walk or you could have driven down the street to go to a whole separate building, and there I found an Anita Shreve book that I have not read, and that is Strange Fits of Passion. I have about 4 or 5 of her books on my shelves. I've read about 3 or 4 of hers already, and I've really enjoyed them, and I was sad to hear that she passed away, but I still have a lot of her work to get through, so that gives me something to look forward to, especially over the summer. Another one I picked up, now you guys know, sometimes I buy books just because of the cover, and here it is, The Mermaid Chair. I love this cover. I personally love mermaid stories. When I was growing up, The Little Mermaid was my favorite Disney movie of all time. Now that I've gotten older, I think Beauty and the Beast has gotten quite popular with me, and even some of the newer movies like Moana and Coco. I really love those movies. But mermaids still hold a special place in my heart just because I had such a love for them when I was so small. So I saw this and I thought that this would just be a fun summer read. Then I was so excited. You guys know that I hate mass market paperback sized books. I keep a list of the Stephen King books that I own in the mass market paperback size, and whenever I'm out and about, I try to look for either hardcovers or large paperbacks to replace them with. And so I was able to find a copy of The Tommyknockers in a hardcover. I was so thrilled. But even more than that, what made me even more excited was that I found these next few books. These are all part of the Dark Tower series. And so I finally found the last 4 remaining books that I needed to find to replace those horrible sized paperbacks. So I have The Gunslinger, The Drawing of Three, The Wastelands, and Wolves of the Calla. So now I can finally have a full set. I don't have to worry about trying to open up those tiny books and read them. I hate that. It really hurts my hands. I have carpal tunnel in my hands, and it just really hurts to hold that small size book for long periods of time. So I'm so excited to be able to carry on with my reread of the series, hopefully starting next month. The next few books I picked up at my local Goodwill. I try to stay out of there because I go in there specifically just to look at the books, and I always end up walking out with a stack of them. It's very rare for me to go in there and not get at least 3 or 4 books. The first one just caught my eye. It was more the cover than anything else, and that is The Doctor's Wife by Elizabeth Brundage. I believe this has to do with a family of doctors and just drama and stuff, so it sounded really good and sounded like something that I could just kind of escape into. And then I saw this one, which has been all over BookTube, and that is The Power by Naomi Alderman. I wanted to see where I fell in the spectrum of whether I liked it or didn't like it. I've heard some conflicting reports, but the spine just caught my eye, and I was like, I have to have it. Then also, I believe this book was longlisted for the Women's Prize for Fiction. Don't quote me on that because I'm not one of those people that follow all the prizes, but I do like watching the videos of people that review all the books. And I believe this one was mentioned, and that's Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Egan. I also have heard a little bit of conflicting reports on this, but I definitely want to give it a try. And then this book I've wanted to read for quite a while, and that is Lillian Boxfish Takes a Walk by Kathleen Rooney. I wanted to read this, one, because it has an older protagonist, but two, some of my close friends here on BookTube have read it and absolutely loved it. And then this book is a chunker, and that is Ken Follett's The Pillars of the Earth. Obviously, this was an Oprah's book club book, which that's a little stamp of approval for some people, but recently a couple of booktubers that I follow have read this and actually really enjoyed it, and I trust their opinions greatly, so I decided to pick it up and give it a try. And then I found this was an ARC, which I didn't realize till after I got home, but it was Witchwood by Tahara Mafi. I have not read Furthermore, but I have them on my list of books to look out for over my summer sales and stuff, and hopefully I will find that one so I can go ahead and read this one. But I will not be giving this to people that can resell it. I will just give it away to someone else. Then I also found Roald Dahl's Danny, the Champion of the World. I've been collecting his books. My youngest daughter right now is really into Roald Dahl, so I saw this. I think it was only $1, yes, and it's just one that I think that she would enjoy, so I went ahead and picked it up. And then I found another Anita Shreve book that I have not read, and that is The Stars Are Fire, and I just love this book. As you can see, it kind of has like this metallic shine to it. It looks like there literally is a fire sparking up, and I just had to have it. The cover is beautiful. And then I found this book, and it was one of my favorite reads of the year so far. I read this back in January, and that is The Snow Child by Ewan Ivey. I loved this story. It's one that the longer it's sat with me, the more I've loved it. So I saw this, and it's in fantastic condition, and I only paid $1 for it. So those are all the books I got at Goodwill. The next stack of books I received from one of my lovely BookTube friends, Lisa from Books and Smiles. She so kindly sent me a box full of books. She sent this back to me in probably February or maybe the beginning of March. It was right around when I decided that I just needed a break from BookTube, and unfortunately I wasn't able to do a haul video to show you guys these before now, and I felt so bad. So I'm sorry, Lisa, but I'm finally getting around to showing them. I did show them on Instagram. Like I said, I'm always more active on Instagram than on here. One of the books she sent me was Wait for Me by Carolyn Leach. She also sent me Confessions by Kanai Minato. A few of my BookTube friends have read this recently and have really enjoyed it, so this one I'm very eager to get to. This one sounds like a great book, and that is Hemingway's Girl by Erica Roebuck. I love the cover. This just gives me summer vibes, so I'm probably going to pick this up sometime this summer. And then she also sent Small Island by Andrea Levy. But the book that she originally messaged me saying that she would send to me if I wanted it was one that I've really been wanting to read for quite a while, and that is A False Report, A True Story of Rape in America by T. Christian Miller and Ken Armstrong. This is one that has been on my want to read list, and I was so excited when she sent it to me. She just reached out and said, hey, would you like it? I'm done with it and I won't read it. And I said, I would love it. And then she surprised me with these 4 other books also in the package. So thank you so much, Lisa. I still have yet to get to any of them, but I'm definitely planning on picking some up now that my time will be a little more free in the summer. There was one book that I acquired during these last few months that I didn't buy and was so happy and shocked to receive because I won a giveaway from Goodreads, which I've been on Goodreads for 5, maybe 6 years now and have never won a giveaway. And I've, pretty religiously entered the giveaways. Never won one until last month, and that is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. I will say I'd been so looking forward to reading this, and I just finished it a couple days ago and didn't love it as much as I thought I would. So we'll see how it sits with me over the next month or so until I do my wrap up for June. But as of right now, I didn't love it, but I'm still so excited that I won it, and I might just keep it just to say this was the first book I ever won from a Goodreads giveaway. The next book I picked up on a weekend trip to Vermont to see my in-laws, and I just had to have this one. The cover was just calling to me, and I'd been wanting to read it for quite some time, so I gave myself permission to buy it, and that is Flame in the Mist by Renee Ahdieh. I read her first duology and absolutely adored it, so I cannot wait to dive in and read this one. I know the sequel, I think, has just come out, so I definitely want to be keeping an eye out for that when I go to spend those gift cards over the summer. While I was in Vermont, I went to this woodworking shop place where they sell all these cool little pieces, and I happened to pick up the most unique bookmark that I've seen in quite a while. It is a bear carved out of a piece of wood, and the bookmark part is here. You slide the page in between this little slit here. I just thought it was so cute. I don't know how functional it's actually going to be, but it's really cool to have on my bookshelf either way. And I thought bears and Vermont kind of go together, so I just had to have it. The next few books I actually ordered from Amazon. Now, these 3 books that I'm about to show you are part of a series, and I did not mean to start collecting the series quite so soon. I had read the first book a few months ago and really enjoyed it, but I had gotten it from my library. Actually, I got it from a neighboring library. Here in my state, if your library does not have something, you can go onto their database and request it from another library, and they send it to you. You don't have to go pick it up or anything. They send it straight to your library. You can return it at your library. It's a fantastic system. However, I wanted to kind of start to try to tackle some of these series that I'm in the middle of, so I've been requesting books right and left from the library, and I went to go on to request the second book in this series, and no library in my state had it. One of them had the third book, but they did not have the second book, which I don't know how that happens. But I am very eager to continue on in the series, so I was like, well, I'm gonna buy it, and I did a buddy read of it with my friend Dee over at Books and Quirks. We both really liked it, so I was like, well, let's do one of the third one, sometime in the summer. So I ended up buying the first 3 books in the Greatcoat series by Sebastian de Castell. So I have Traitor's Blade, Night Shadow, and Saint's Blood. I do have the 4th book, which I believe is the final book, sitting on my wish list. I'm waiting for the price to go down a little bit because I only picked up the 3rd book so soon because the price was like half of what it usually was. So I was excited to get them, but now I'm waiting for that other price to go down a bit. The next book was a pre-order, and that is The Trauma Cleaner, One Woman's Extraordinary Life in the Business of Death, Decay, and Disaster by Sarah Krasnostein. It's a little bit of a last name to say. I have heard some mixed reviews on this since it has come out. I was so excited for it. I think I originally saw it on Leanne's channel, which her channel name is Literary Diversions, and this was one of her most anticipated books of the year, I think. And as soon as I had heard her talk about it, I was like, I have to read that, and I immediately pre-ordered it. However, since it's come out, there have been some mixed reviews, though I think some of those reviews that weren't so great were more about people expecting one thing and getting another. I think they were expecting a memoir, and this is more like a biography, if I'm correct in believing what they were saying. So hopefully I will still enjoy it, but I think I will now that I have the correct expectations going into it. And then another book that went on sale for like $5 was one I'm almost going to say like my favorite book of the year, because I still think about this book every single day, but I'm still reserving that title for maybe another one, because there are a few others that are kind of competing with it. But that is Wolf Winter by Cecilia Eckbach. I read this one in January. It was one of the first books I read of the year, and it has stuck with me. Like, I want to do a reread of this in the fall, the beginning of the early winter, because that was just a perfect time to read this book. And I know that there's a second, like, companion book that I want to get to at some point in the fall, winter time as well. Now, the last couple books I have to show you are two books that I've been highly anticipating all year. I pre-ordered them, I received them, so excited about them. That being said, these also have a couple of things appearance-wise that just really irk me. Like, why do publishers do this to us? So one of the books that I pre-ordered and received was Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. This is the third book in the Ember in the Ashes series. I love this series. I flew through the first two books. I was so excited to receive this one, and I hope to get to it very, very soon. But I do sort of want to do a reread of the first two, so we'll see how quickly I get to this, because I do want to read those. But anyway, they had a cover change. So now the cover looks like this, which there's nothing wrong with this cover. I absolutely think this is a great cover. I do like it. However, I prefer the old covers, and I own both of the first two books in the old covers. I love this. It's so gorgeous, and even A Torch Against the Night. I love it so much, but now I have this third book, and I refuse to rebuy the first two in the series. So now they have to sit on my shelves, not matching at all. I know this is first world problems. I really shouldn't complain about it, but it does irk me, because why can't they just all match? I have OCD, so that's part of the problem. I really do, and when things don't match, it does bother me. And I bet you if I find the matching covers at some point, I would probably replace them. I won't pay full price, but I would probably replace them just because it does bother me that much. The next book, the final book that I have to show you, is one that I was so excited to get to because I did a buddy read with my friend Gwen from here on BookTube of Beartown by Frederick Bachman just 2 months ago. We read this, we loved it, it was so good, and I was so excited to get the sequel that was coming out. I had it pre-ordered early on, and I just had to get my hands on it. So it came out, Us Against You, and it's gorgeous. It definitely, you know, matches the vibe of the first one. However, this is the part that irks me just a little bit. When I put them on the shelves next to each other, one of them is shorter than the other one. Why? Why must they do that? That just bothers me. But I'm so excited to read Us Against You. This one is definitely one that I've been anticipating. However, I want to read it with my friend Gwen, and she says it doesn't come out in Canada until September. So I will probably be waiting a little while to read this, because I really do want to continue our buddy read of this series with her. It was so much fun reading with her, and I want to have that experience. That being said, if you have seen any of these books here and you also want to read them, let me know so we can schedule a buddy read at some point, because I have found out that doing buddy reads is my favorite thing about being on BookTube. Finding someone to read these books with, bounce ideas off of, have emotional reactions with them. It's just so much fun. So also, if you have had an opinion on any of these books, whether good or bad, let me know that too, because I really want to hear what you guys have to say. That'll help me prioritize which ones I get to first. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week and happy reading. Bye.